Hey everyone, welcome. It is Wednesday, November 2nd, start of a new month. And it is our weekly Wednesday leadership, personal growth, just kind of a little bit of everything. I'm finding that we have needed more and more opportunities just to share how we do the business, why we do the business, why self-development and so many things are so important. So we'll have people hop on and off as we go. This is recording. If you're catching the recording, comment below. Tell me what you think. If you've got thoughts, if you got ideas, comment below. We got 3 topics we're going to talk about today. Both we'll talk about in a short period of time. Celebrating the little things is how I titled it. It was something we went through about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. And I saw a post today from a friend, and it brought up some of that training that we did. And so I was like, yep, that's we need to cover it. And then overcoming the no, had a lot of people reach out today and yesterday, kind of talking about the end of the month, how good it was, but there was a lot of no's. And I wanted to talk about overcoming those, and then a little bit about self-awareness. And we'll end the whole thing with self-awareness. And then if you have questions, just ask, unmute yourself, say, I have a question. We can stop right then and go. And if you don't have a question, or if you have a question, you want to save it for the end, you're more than welcome to do that. So just kind of depends. If it pertains to what we're talking about right now, then ask it. But if it's something that you want to wait on and we can wait till the end, we'll also do question Q&A then as well. Hey, Miriam. All right. So celebrating the little things. Let's discuss this a little bit. Set on my wife isn't here, and she's got these beautiful white pillows. I know it's recorded, so she'll see it eventually, but I'm not supposed to sit on them. They're for looks and leaning. But dadgummit, I'm gonna sit on one. It just a little bit more comfortable. So I'm gonna be in trouble. So here we go. We did this training a while back. It was with JM3, a guy that Joseph McClendon III. And then I did the training again, a partial training with Tony Robbins. And then my buddy shares one of Tony Robbins talks about just celebrating the little things. And I thought, man, I've kind of gotten in my funk again. Like, I'm so good at celebrating the championship, celebrating the major milestone. But all the little things that led up to it, I just see those. I had to do that to get there, right? And I don't celebrate it. But what I've also learned in who I am and what I struggle with, and I think this is a common theme across all living beings, we're really easy to either be hard on ourselves or say something like, man, you're an idiot. Man, I can't believe you did this. Or just, we're really easy to just hammer ourselves for little things, right? But it takes a lot for us to celebrate stuff. I mean, it's got to be, like I said, a major milestone. And like, it's even to the point where, guys, when we wake up every day, it's a blessing. Like, we got another day. But there'll be so many people, you ask how they're doing, crappy, it sucks, right? Why? What's going on? I woke up. Like, literally, that's the reason to give a negative response towards their day, right? To give a negative response towards what's going on. And so yes, we are our own biggest critic, Christy, hands down. And so it's so easy to go, man, it's just frustrating, it sucks, it's a crappy day, whatever. And then what's the reasoning behind it? There is no reasoning. I woke up. Like, come on. So here's this. Why is it that we can do this and just give no reason at all to give a negative response to what's going on in the day or what's going on in your life or where we're at? Why is that so easy? But why aren't we giving ourselves an easy reason to celebrate things, what we're doing on? Hey, Richard, what's going on? We are just getting started. So I want to go through and I just want to identify a couple things And I'm literally going straight from what I learned, right? Straight from the training. So this is not Ryan's idea, but this is something Ryan has used in his coaching. Ryan has used in his daily walk. Like there's times I've had to kick my own butt, right? So there were things as we plotted out our day, and I remember, you guys are going to think this is funny, and I'm going overkill here, and he went overkill on this, but it made sense. Like we went through our day and we kind of mapped out what we did that day. This is what we did. We hit these things. We were a part of this. This is the stuff I've got to get done through the day. And as you went through the day, there's many chances to celebrate small little steps of achievement, right? Small little things that God has just done in your life, man, just small little things that you accomplished, that you did, but really you see it as no big deal. And because we're such a negative society, we don't think to celebrate those things. We only celebrate the big things, right? And it almost feels silly to celebrate the little stuff. And JM3, you can look him up, Joseph McClendon III. Good, just hilarious guy, but very down to earth. And he's like, listen, I got to a point in my life where I was celebrating anything that I felt like was an accomplishment because I had to change my mindset. I had to change where I was mentally. I was in a really bad spot. And someone from the crowd, I remember sitting there, someone kind of goes like, what are you celebrating? And he goes, well, I celebrated getting up every morning. It meant a lot to me that God gave me another day. I was grateful for that. So I started celebrating that. He's like, and then you know what? You know what I did? Every morning after I get up, I brush my teeth because I don't want to talk to anyone with stinky breath. And everyone kind of laughs. He's like, and then I go use the bathroom. He said, and I walked out of the bathroom and I started celebrating going to the bathroom. Okay, so he's going down a road of, I mean, people are rolling at this point. He's like, and I had eggs, so I celebrated not burning the eggs. And you know what? I matched, my clothes were matching. So I started celebrating my clothes matching, like everything looked good. And he, of course, is going overboard, but he's like, guys, I'm being honest. Like I was in such a place that I just was so negative, and I developed so many habits of just finding the bad in everything we do, just the junk, that I was missing out on all the good that the day had to offer. And so I started celebrating one thing after another. And the next thing I know, a couple days into this, I felt silly at times. He's like, there was times I was like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. But he just kept going, and he saw his mindset shift to a point where he starts looking for things to be grateful for. He developed an attitude of gratitude, right? I had a teacher. Actually, I'm pretty sure she wasn't a teacher. She was our counselor, but she always talked. And I went to school. Some of you went to school before me and some of after, but in the early 90s, 80s, early 80s. And she talked about attitude of gratitude. Attitude of gratitude, attitude of gratitude. And I just remember her being just one of the ladies that I was just like, man, she's always happy. I remember as a little kid noticing her, man, she's just always smiling. She's always happy. And that was her quote, attitude of gratitude. I just got to stand that. And I remember one year she lost her dad and her mom in the same year. I had no clue. I was in 7th grade, had no clue that she was going through all that. And now losing grandparents and losing some very important people in my life, I know how hard that is. But I remember just seeing her, and just knowing that she's just smiling, right? And then to come to find out that she went through all that we can go through hard things, we can go through struggles, but it's a choice how we want to feel. And that she was choosing to be grateful for the things that she had. And that with Joseph McClendon and then Tony Robbins, then thinking back, I've actually got a couple teachers I could call out, even Miss Castellon. I got different ones just that were amazing in my life, and they were always grateful, just always happy. It's powerful to change our mindset just to be grateful, right? Well, I want to take this and it not just be about our daily life, but it also be about our business. Like it is really easy inside our business to look at it and go, It is what it is, but it's not what theirs is. It's not what, I can't believe it's not what Brianna did that. I can't believe she hit a milestone. I'll never be that, right? Comparison will kill you. You start comparing your life or your business, let's talk your business, to other people's business, and it'll leave you at a state of being ungrateful. Because you're always going, I'm not good enough. I'll never get there. I can't believe that they've done that. It just turns a negative. Comparison leaves you unsatisfied. It leaves you thinking that what we have, the life that we live, it just isn't good enough, right? And so inside our business, I'm going to ask you, do not compare. Comparing yourself to someone else's business, you don't know the road they went down. You don't know how long they've been. You don't know what kind of network they have. So you don't even know what point of the journey you're on, right? So if this is the journey, and let's say 10 years ago, my journey started here and it took 10 years to get me to this point, and someone else comes in now, but they're not up here. They're starting down here on this same timeline. They're going, man, I'll never get there. I'll never get there. I'll never see that. Well, they have no clue that it took 10 years for me to get to that point. For Kylie and I in network marketing, it's 7 years, coming up on 8, right? It's taken 8 years of attraction marketing, 8 years of just pouring into people and choosing to connect with them over try to sell to them, right? Choosing to have a relationship first, and then inside that relationship, whatever opportunity arises, that's the opportunity we run with, right? So we can't compare, number one. Number two, we've got to start celebrating the things we do in our business. Hey, you know what? I just started my business. I started with the Kit 250 or Kit 500 or whatever that is that you came in with, Kit 100, Kit 1000. Celebrate that. And I don't mean just like, man, this is cool. I would challenge you, if you are a pessimistic person, and believe me, I was one, and I lived my life with my grandpa. We lived on a dairy farm, huge dairy farm, okay? My grandma was it's going to be all right. God's going to provide the rain. We're going to be fine. We lost cattle in a storm. It's going to be okay. We're going to have a bumper crop this year. We're going to have more calves than we've ever had, whatever. And my grandpa was the opposite. He was the man, if it could go wrong, he saw it coming. And once it went wrong, the whole world was wrong, right? Everything was that way. And so I've seen that. And so if that is you, I'm going to challenge you inside your business or life, whatever it is, wherever you're at, to start celebrating things out loud. I'm serious. Celebrate them out loud. You start your business. I started my business. Walk out your door and give a hoot and clap and cheer and smile, and let's celebrate that. Right? I mean, I'm telling you, I went to that training and I watched a dude come out of the stall in the bathroom, and he walked out and he gave a huge cheer. Woo! So excited. The rest of the bathroom rolled, just laughing, that just having fun and having some gratitude and celebrating out loud. I don't even know what he was celebrating. I guess it was good, right? But it brought some energy to everyone else that hurt him. That was a part of that, right? Well, it does that for yourself too. Telling you hearing yourself celebrate, you hearing yourself say, I'm grateful for this, just reinforces a positive thought over and over and over again. So let's look at our business. Let's say, hey, my big goal, I'm going to celebrate when we get to pro, right? You just got started in the business and you want to go to pro. I'm going to celebrate when you get to pro. Listen, there's a lot of milestones in between that. Making your first post, sharing your story is a huge milestone. There's a lot of people that are so afraid to share their story that they never do. And they never have an opportunity to change someone's lives because they're too worried about what others think. Share your story. That's a milestone, right? Cheer that on. Maybe you get your first customer. Great. Celebrate. It's worth celebrating, and put it in the group. Let people know, got my first customer today. We will celebrate with you, right? Maybe it's your first entrepreneur. You made your first attraction marketing post, made your first post, shared your story, didn't talk about Vitafy, didn't talk about Nanofy, Curcumin Plus. You just shared your story. This was me before. This is me now, right? And you're talking about better sleep, talking about, hey, I've got better focus. My feet don't hurt. My hands don't hurt. Hey, I woke up and I didn't feel like the Tin Man today. Whatever part of your story you share, right? You share that. And it leads to someone reaching out. Hey, I got my first person ever reach out, ask me what I'm doing. Celebrate it. I know it sounds silly, but I try not to get emotional on this, but I have been the man that's walked down the path and had no hope and hated life. And I've been in a really dark, deep ditch. And all I did was reinforce my ditch and reinforce how bad life was with what I spoke over me. And I've seen the way I talk to myself and it not lead to good things. And then I've watched people inspire me. I watched my pastor just guide me down a walk to a point of what I speak over myself matters. So start speaking over yourself life. Start speaking over yourself something that you know is truth and that is good of you and who you are. And so if you will start celebrating these little steps and you will start understanding that all accomplishments are big accomplishments, all movement towards the end goal is positive movement. You know, I would talk to my guys. I used to coach basketball. I've coached football, basketball, baseball, and golf. Those are my four sports that I've coached in high school. I was a head basketball coach, 14 years, 13, 14, 15 years, did football, assistant football. I did all of it, right? And we would talk to our guys, and those guys that would see, let's say, the weight room, and they're just not as strong as everyone else, but they start at a different point, right? And we work our tail end off for a week or two. And then you know what? They start to lift a little bit more weight. It's not a lot, but it was like 5 pounds more to their bench. And they're like, hey, coach, I went up 5 pounds. Dude, we got to celebrate that. That's huge. That is big. Yeah, but I saw so-and-so. No, it doesn't matter what so-and-so did, right? And the more I could get guys to fall into, we're going to speak life over ourselves and we're going to celebrate every accomplishment that we hit on to our ultimate goal. I saw them achieve more and go further in an attitude of gratitude, in a state of gratefulness, and really celebrating than I did those guys that only celebrated the end goal. So I know I talked a little bit longer on that point, but I wanted to keep it to 15 minutes. We went over a little bit, but does that make sense that if we will celebrate the little things as we go forward, life becomes lighter, it becomes more enjoyable, and we start reinforcing thought and behavior that not only moves you up the ladder, but guess what? You have people watching you all the time. I don't care if you think you're a leader or not, you influence people. Right. And so people watch you and they just start going, well, I want to duplicate that. Right. Especially in a business. People love to watch what others do and try to duplicate it. Well, not everyone can be this person, not everyone can be that, but we can do little things that are duplicatable. Celebrating all accomplishments is duplicatable. Okay. So that's my first thing I want to talk about. Questions on that, thoughts on that. I think there was a couple things in the chat. Right. It is so much better not allowing your mind to go there. It just is. It is. I could keep going forever. I could preach a sermon if I had to. All right. That was my first point. All right. Overcoming the no. Overcoming the no. How many of you, and you can drop it in the chat because I know a lot of you are at work and you're catching this. Who's heard no already? Who's been doing network marketing for a while and they've already heard a no? Right? I hear them every day. I get a no all the time, right? I've chose to help me overcome the no. There's a couple things that we can do to get there. Number one, every time someone has told me no, I choose to believe that it's not yet. Not no. It's not yet. Okay? We know there's lots of studies out there. It takes somewhere between 7 to 11 times of seeing a ad or times of seeing a story or a testimony. It takes 7 to 11 times for someone in sales to make the sale, right? There's it could be. Christy, I believe that right. I believe that's right, but I choose to believe it's a not yet. They'll come around someday. Kylie and I have been doing this 15 months, and we had multiple people order for the first time this last month. And they've been people that told us, no, I'm not interested. And then they reach back out and they go, well, tell me a little bit more. And then they're like, no, I think I'm good. And then finally they were like, oh, they saw a story inside Disruptive Wellness. So we shared something that was like, wow, that hit them. It finally connected at a personal level. Now, these no's and not yets, are we constantly hitting them? No. Once you give me a no, I choose to believe it's not yet. Put your name down and I cycle back to you 30 days or 60 days later, right? I let you settle. I get you in the group and I let the group drip on you. But I choose to have a mindset of it's saying not yet. Here's the other thing that I've learned to do inside not only sports and my coaching, but inside network marketing. Fall in love with the process. And I know it's easier said than done. I've coached so many guys and they're like, they just don't make varsity. They're right there and they just can't make varsity, or they make varsity, but they're not the guy yet or the girl, depending on which gender you're coaching, right? And they get so flustered with, oh, my end goal wasn't there. I'm like, listen, your end goal will take care of itself and it will not matter. Maybe it's a win or a loss inside that game, right? If you fall in love with, man, I love to get up every day and train. I love to get up every day and lift. I love to get up every day and work with my team. Fall in love with the process. So let's look at it inside our business. How do we overcome no's? I think you need to change your mindset. It's a not yet. It's not a no, not yet, or not right now, right? It's a no for now, but who knows what we'll be like. The other part, fall in love with the process. So what's that mean? Well, I'm going to fall in love every day with adding people to Disruptive Wellness. Every day I'm going to invite some people to Disruptive Wellness. Who wants to be a part of it? I reach out, I send a message. Hey, I've got this really cool group, and it's got some amazing testimonials in it. And I remember you telling me about your feet hurt every single day. Can I add you to this group, this community? There's some testimonies. I think you'd love it, right? So we talk about adding to Disruptive Wellness. Every day, fall in love with telling your story. And it doesn't have to be told online. Just fall in love with telling your story to people. I just want to share. And I want an opportunity to help people's lives. If I can help them financially, physically, or spiritually, that's all I want to do, right? So fall in love with that. Listen, there are some daily method of operations, some DMOs that we do every single day. Wish people a happy birthday every day. Your Facebook will tell you whose birthday it is. Well, I had a group of people tell me, well, when you wish them a happy birthday, make sure you tell them about your business. I couldn't fall in love with that process. I just disagree. It's the day God gave you us. It's the day that you were come to this earth. It's your day. I'm not going to tell you about my business. So when I wish you a happy birthday, I tell you how grateful I am for you. I wish you a happy birthday. I hope that God blesses you today and that you see him move in a mighty way. And I just hope that you have a great day. It's about you. So I fell in love with that birthday process. I look forward to whose birthday is it today? Because now I've made it about them, not me, right? And so I fell in love with doing my birthdays. Every day, I have fallen in love with just connecting with people at a level that they want to communicate back with me. So I don't sell. I do not reach out to people and say, hey, check out this. When I comment on people's posts, or when I reach out in Messenger, or when I see people walking because I'm out and about, I look to connect with them. I look to communicate with them to a way to connect, right? And so I've got to hear so many cool stories lately. I've got to see so many cool relationships grow. I've got some friendships now with some people. My daughters play softball. I've got 2 daughters and a son. They all play sports, but my girls play softball. They love it, volleyball and softball. And so I've made some friends with some other dads down in Texas that have a softball, dads of softball, right? And I've just got to hear some amazing stories of the relationships that they've developed with their daughters through softball, and the way that they coach them, in a way that they make sure their girls know, hey, good or bad, they walk back, they know their dad's going to be proud of them. Good or bad, when they walk back, I make sure that they know I'm daddy first. right? And so these conversations have yet to lead to talking about Vidify, but they've turned into some really cool relationships, just getting to know people, right? And so I'm ultra grateful for that this process that I did not enjoy at first because I was trying to sell. Now I'm just reaching out, right? And I'm just looking to communicate and connect with people. And so this connection with people at a level, that process I've fallen in love with. You know, another thing that I do, and I just think it's really cool because there's a lot of neat people on Facebook. Every single day I try to add 10 new people to my Facebook page, but I just don't add people. I don't just click add. Each and every person, I click on their profile. I go through their page and I'm like, hey, would I want to do life with these people? Would I want to do business with these people? Do these people need Jesus? Like, could I show the light that I have in me and share it with them? Like all these, any of that, thanks, Lucian, going down that road. So when I'm looking for people, I really have fallen in love with this process of adding people to my Facebook page because I get to see so many new people. So every single day I try to add 10. I think you guys, for those that follow me, I just made a post and I had to delete 500 people. So I removed 500 people from my Facebook page because it was maxed out, because there are people that I've never talked to, or when I talk to them, they've never reached back out, no connection, right? And so I removed them, but now I've been adding more people lately. I've just seen it's just been really cool just to see the type of people are out there, right? And so I've fallen in love with that. I fall in love with connecting with you guys every day. I try to make sure we connect with our team every day. I need to post more in World Changers. I tell you guys this all the time. I just get so caught up in the groups and doing my stuff that I forget to post in World Changers, but I know I need to lead better there. So I'm working on it. But the process, once you fall in love with the process, guess what? You do it every day, regardless of the outcome. So if I just love what I'm doing every single day, it doesn't matter if it leads to a sale, it leads to a distributor, it doesn't matter if it leads to my business growing. I enjoy, Lucian, I think you're muted. I couldn't hear you. I enjoy the day that I have. And so the outcome that I'm after, because right, we have an outcome in our business, right? Different goals. That outcome becomes, it just gets there someday. I'll get there when I get there, or I get there faster than I realized when I start helping people get what they want, but also just loving the process that we go through, right? And so this overcoming the no, when it's not about the outcome and when the sale is not the most important thing, the no doesn't matter to you anymore. And then the last thing I can add to this, when you know who you are and you love who you are and you're okay with what you do and you're proud of where you're going, it doesn't matter what anyone else says, right? There's very few people that can say something to me and it really upset me. Like if my wife comes and says, hey, I don't agree with this, what you said or what you did, we need to talk. I'm going to take a listen, right? If my kids and my mom and dad come to me and they're like, I don't know, not what, I'll listen. We're going to, because they mean something to me. But outside of that, if anyone ever tells you, hey, you're stupid for doing network marketing. Okay. It's given me time with my family. It's given me time to see my kids. It's given us an income I could have never done as a teacher. I know who I am. I know what I'm doing this for. I'm helping people. I could care less what you think about, right? So it's kind of I get it. It's kind of like a stick it or I could care less mentality, but it's not that. It's I just know who I am and where I'm going. So I'm either going to go there with you, without you, or in spite of you, right? And we're just going. And
dare me,
right?
Dare me.
Dare me, right? That is good. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm changing people's lives in 3 different categories: spiritually, physically, financially. And one of those, maybe all 3, but that's all. I'm here to just make this world a better place. That's where I'm going. And so if you can get that mindset, the no doesn't matter, right? So mindset matters. Okay. And I'm going to fall right into, this plays right into self-awareness, and then you can have the floor. It's open for you. This falls right into self-awareness. And so I've been on a constant battle. I told you I've ended up in some really dark places and I've fought some addictions, and my time on earth. Some of it's been pretty tough, right? But in that time, I've had some mentors come to me and say, hey, you know where you struggle, or you know areas that cause you problems, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Well, let's go through this. And so we kind of went through my day and went through who I am and what I stood for and where I was at and where my struggles were. And they're like, listen, some of this stuff is avoidable. You need to look at yourself and be aware of who you are. There's certain things you can't do because it's just going to put you in a bad spot. So avoid those spots, right? And so if there are, go back to business on this. Listen, you know who you are. You know the things that can hinder your business. Are you a scroller? Do you struggle and you get on Facebook or you get on Instagram or you get on TikTok or whatever, and the next thing you know, it's an hour or two later and you're like, holy crap, how did I get here? If that's you, then I would suggest you do what Ashley taught me. Ashley Brandon, I love her to death. She said, listen, I know I'm a scroller. So when I'm looking for content, because she's a big TikTok creator, she creates a lot of stuff and she brings in a lot of people through TikTok. She's like, when I'm looking for content, I put on my timer on my phone, 15 or 20 minutes, whatever time I have allotted. And I look for content, and I take notes and I save stuff, whatever. But as soon as that timer goes off, I shut it down because I know that it can take my attention away from my business, from my family, and I just spend time messing around on this, and I don't need to do that. So set a timer, right? If it's something where you're like, for me, I love food. I just struggle with food. So you know what? Some of my biggest vices, because I'm on this health journey, I truly believe that if I'm going to lead this community, I got to be healthy and I got to make good choices. And beyond that, guys, I want to be around for my kids and my wife and my family for as long as possible. So I got to make good choices. So guess what? I love ice cream. I honestly, there's a place called Andy's Frozen Custard in the nearby town. Good thing they don't have one here, right? It's in a town down the road. I will not drive down roads that an Andy's is on because I know there's a good chance I'm just going to go ahead and pull in. Because I just struggle, but I know who I am and I know my struggle. So why put myself in a position where I'm tempted to make a stupid decision, right? So I avoid that stuff. In your business, you can avoid the pitfalls, the things that hold you back, right? Your self-awareness. Listen, if it's negative talk, that was me, right? If it's negative talk, yeah, Andy's is good. If it's negative talk, then you need to make sure you get it in your, like, have you ever bought a car and you're like, I've never really seen one of these, never took time to look at them. And you look at them and you spend time and you end up buying it. And you're like, man, we bought a Flex. I didn't know much about Flexes before, but quite a few years ago, bought a Flex. And now all I see on the road are maroon Flex, because that's the color we bought, a maroon Flex. I see them all over the place. I've never seen them before. Guess what? They were there. Just that razz, that on your mind, like looking for it, right? That it's there now. It's in your razz. It's in that attention. Oh, I'm paying attention to this. Paying attention. Well, listen, you can set that negative talk. You can make that part of your razz. That I think I'm saying that right, but I forget what it's called. But it's got the 3 letters, stand for something. But that part of awareness where you're like, negative talk kills me. Negative talk takes me down a hole of going, I just don't feel worthy of doing this. I don't think I can do it, right? So when you have negative talk, for me, and this is me, I'm not saying my way is the right way, but my negative talk, I used to, and I had to change this. My negative talk was this. When I would hear negative talk, I'd be like, Ryan, you're such an idiot. Stop that. You gotta get your act together. Well, I took my negative talk and I was trying to correct myself with negative talk. And so I had to flip it. I was like, man, the words I use I got to fix. So when I got negative talk, I'm like, listen, Ryan, you know better than this. This is who you are. You are the son of a king. You are redeemed. You are this. And I go down the list of who God says I am. Listen, I understand if you're not a believer or anything, you can use whatever you want to use, but I am. And so this is how I do my life. And so I just kind of go down the list of who God says I am. And that sets my thought back on the right stuff, that positive thinking. Listen, it's also good in that self-awareness, like it's okay to go, you know what? Over time, this is who I allowed myself to become. Okay, I don't want to be this anymore. this is what I want to be. This is where I want to go. This is where my business needs to be, right? Because if you have a business and it's been this way the whole time, and you're like, man, I just can't get over this hump. We need to change what you're doing, right? If you're not changing what you're doing and expecting a different outcome, you're silly. So let's look at where we want to be. Success leaves clues. So let's find people that's been successful and see what they've done, right? I was teaching my son about this yesterday or 2 days ago. We were moving some stuff in the garage and we saw some mouse crap. And I was like, we got a mouse in the garage. I never saw the mouse, but I saw what it left behind, right? And so I was like, okay, we're going to have to get traps and we're going to have to trap it. Guys, it's the same thing for successful things. People that do things successful, they leave clues behind what they do. You can watch their habits. You can watch what they do. So let's get where you want to go and let's change the habits inside it, right? So there's nothing wrong with it, with making a list. Get down, make your list. Okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I do daily. This is where I want to go. Let's make some changes to some of the things that we do daily. If you don't post daily, then let's change it. Let's post daily. If all you do is share about your business every single day, you're like, I just don't seem to get anybody. No kidding. No one pays attention to your page because you post about your product or your business every single day. They just keep scrolling. No one wants to see that. No one goes onto Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and says, I'm looking to buy something today. They're looking to connect with somebody. They're looking for someone to share something that takes them out of their pain and they're hurting, or maybe they're wanting to laugh, whatever. So if that's you, let's change what you're posting. Kylie does a Facebook 5. She talks about the 5 things that she posts every day. That leaves 2 days a week to talk about business or product. Never more. Unless we're hitting maybe a sell or a promo or something, we might hit it back to back, but that's it. You know, maybe you don't know enough about social media and you're like, man, I just love to learn. We got tons of trainings inside World Changers. I can do trainings all day on this stuff. We can talk about stories, how to post in your stories and what you can do. We can talk about daily posts. We can talk about how important your story is on your feed and how to attract people to ask you what you do as opposed to you telling them what you're doing, right? There's different things that we can learn and we can sit down and we can start spending these days and just do, all right, today we're going to talk about this for building your business in social media or whatever. I don't care what it is, but we can do all this stuff. We have all this stuff in place. We have so many talented people in this company that we can find someone to train you, right? And so being self-aware, understanding who you are and who you would like to be, and being okay with going, okay, I got to change some things. Got to make a difference, right? And I've gone super deep into self-awareness and programming and all that on past talks, but that's kind of what was on my heart today. Any questions, any comments before we close this out?
Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
I just wanted to welcome my mother and father-in-law, Richard and Janet Heck. They just signed up over the weekend.
I thought that was, I was assuming that was part of your relation.
Yep.
Awesome. Welcome, guys. We are excited to have you.
You're muted, Dad.
I don't know how to
Go have fun.
do what, Lucian?
I told him to go have fun.
That's probably a better word than anyone could ever give. If you have fun with this,
Yes.
it's a lot more beneficial for you and those around you. That's a pretty good word.
Dad, you were muted. You're muted.
I'm showing to be unmuted.
Yeah, Lucian, you are. We're trying to get oh, there you
All
are.
right, we're gonna speak now. Watch out.
Yeah.
Can't stop him from talking.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're very glad to be on. Very, very glad to be invited by Lisa. I didn't realize we were muted before, but now that I'm unmuted, watch out. I got something I want to say.
Go for it.
I want to ask you, Ryan, what was it you mentioned? You said training is it workshop? You mentioned
We do different trainings throughout the week, but we have a group called World Changers, in which I'm sure we'll put you in. If you're not in, we can get you in there, but there is tons of different little videos. Dr. Thornton does some videos. Ashley's done some, Kylie's done some, lots of little videos you can get in there and watch on
Okay.
getting started and everything. And
Mhm.
then We do different calls throughout the week, and I usually do them in the middle of the day because it seems
Okay.
like we can just catch people better around their lunch.
Sure.
And so Mondays, we don't do much. We kind of let people start their week off. But Tuesdays, we do a help desk. I do Ryan's help desk every Tuesday at 11:30 Central Standard Time. And it goes for sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes a couple hours. But people hop on and they just ask questions. Hey, I'm struggling with this in my website. Can we get it fixed? Hey, I had a customer order and it didn't go through. How do we fix it? We go down, we just anything Vitify, social media, business related, we try to answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds like
Yeah, it's a good one to be a part of, and it really helps people get going. Wednesdays is this call. We do more self-awareness, motivating business leadership. We will not do this call next Wednesday though, because I will be in Mexico.
Woohoo.
I'm gonna disappear for 5 days. So
Good.
I'm gonna put my phone away. But next Wednesday we won't do this call. And I don't know if we'll do Tuesday's call. I might see if I can get someone else to run it for me.
Good. No problem.
Thursday nights, we do the weekly drop with Dr. Thornton, where he shares the science behind the product. And then everyone does, we have different people come on and give their testimonies on the product.
Okay.
And then Fridays are yours. Fridays at our house is crazy. So we don't do any trainings. It's like, hey, we got to catch up.
Gotcha.
So Fridays we leave alone. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. we do, it's called GoPro. We teach people how to hit the first rank inside the business. And
Okay.
so we do that every morning. And all the times I gave you are Central Standard Time.
Okay. Saturday morning at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Probably won't be making that. We got a product commitment for every Saturday morning, but that's okay. I'll get.
Well, I record those and we put those inside World Changers as well.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Good to know.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I'll send you the link there.
okay, Lisa, appreciate that.
And I'll do what Richard does.
Hey,
Sounds good.
Ryan,
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
know if you want to stop the recording, but if while they're on here, I just wanted you to tell them, how you got started.